Tonight we have a very good show because we're going to get to the question that's on the ballot tonight. And issue 12 is what it is, which is 84 words that have spawned thousands of words in response. And I have a representative of the group that put that on the ballot, Aron Wagner, with me tonight. Good evening, Aron.
Good evening. Great to be here.
Thank you very much. First, what is going to appear on the ballot is Article 12. That's based on what your organization submitted. How many signatures approximately did you have to collect to get on the ballot?
We collected about 400 signatures.
In the cold?
Yes. Well, some of it was a little bit warmer. We've been working on it for a couple of months now, but we were definitely out there on some cold days.
Did Article 12, as it appears on the ballot, pretty much reflect the language that you guys wanted on the ballot? It's drafted by the city clerk. Does this accurately reflect what you wanted? And if not, why not?
It's exactly the same as the petition that we were collecting signatures for, yes. So the clerk did a good job of that. We
are going to go, which organization, let's do that again. Which organization is behind this?
Well, we're the ones who took the initiative to collect signatures for it and put it on the ballot. This, the Apartheid-Free Community Pledge, which is what Article 12 is based on, is it was written and started by the American Friends Service Committee, and it's basically it's a measure that's in solidarity with Palestinians. It says we oppose all forms of racism and oppression and bigotry. It says we affirm our commitment to justice and freedom and equality for Palestinian people and all people. And to do that, we are going to take steps to stop supporting the apartheid policies of Israel.
Will this same measure be on other town meeting day ballots?
I believe it will be on a few other town meeting day ballots across Vermont, yes.
Is this the same measure that we voted on last year?
It is, yes.
The exact same measure?
It is the same words, yes.
Again, is this a formal organization, or is this just a coalition of like-minded people?
This is a group of like-minded people, of local residents that are coming together to get this
For the purposes of education and an interesting show for all, I'm going to play the skeptic on this.
All right.
And I'm going to try and parse this out so that everyone understands it better.
That sounds good.
This is Article 12, if you'd like to read it to us.
Yes. Article 12. Shall the voters of the City of Montpelier advise the Mayor and the City Council to adopt the following pledge? We affirm our commitment to freedom, justice, and equality for the Palestinian people and all people, and we oppose all forms of racism, bigotry, discrimination, and oppression, and we declare ourselves an apartheid-free community, and to that end, we pledge to join others in working to end all support for Israel's apartheid regime, settler colonialism, and military occupation.
Actually, there is a line before that. Shall the voters of the City of Montpelier advise the Mayor and the Council to adopt the following pledge?
Yes.
Let's go through this. What is a pledge to you?
So this is basically what this is to me is a chance for us to affirm our values as a community and to take action to stop apartheid as a community together.
What's the purpose of this pledge?
I
mean, we're a town of 7,500 people. What is the purpose of this pledge in a town of 7,500 in the center of Vermont?
So the purpose of this pledge is to do our part to push back against our country's support for the apartheid and the genocide that we've seen playing out over the past couple of years in Palestine. Because our country, the United States, is sending a lot of money, a lot of weapons, a lot of bombs to kill Palestinians right now. And so it's important for us as citizens of the United States to do what we can to stand up against our country doing that.
How does this stand up against what's going on? How does this stand up against sending weapons and all that? This pledge.
So it stands up against it by, first of all, by giving us the chance to acknowledge some of the reality about what's happening, right? To acknowledge that there's a situation of apartheid in Palestine, where Israel effectively controls all of the territory and has a bunch of different legal systems for how many rights Palestinians can have, depending on where they live. So if you're Palestinian and you live in the state of Israel, you have different rights with the Israeli government versus whether you live in the West Bank or Gaza, and your rights are not the same as they would be if you were a Jewish citizen. And so that's part of it, is just acknowledging that situation as it stands today. And the other part of it is taking real steps to ensure that we aren't supporting the companies that are giving Israel the weapons and military technology that it's using to kill Palestinians and to keep the occupation going, and also to make sure that we're not investing in that apartheid and genocide.
BDS.
Yes.
So this implicitly is saying that the mayor and the city council, speaking for us, opposes or supports, I suppose, BDS. But that's not written into this.
I mean, it's not officially affiliated with the BDS movement. It's a separate movement. But
now, what does BDS stand for?
BDS stands for Boycotts, Divestment, and Sanctions, which is a movement of a bunch of Palestinian civil society organizations, and it is a different organization that's working on this, but it has some similar goals.
Were this to pass, would we expect another petition coming that would ask us on the question of boycott and sanctions and the like?
I don't think so. I think this would be, hopefully this would be sufficient to get the Montpelier, to advise the Montpelier City Council to take steps to make sure that we're not investing in companies that work with the Israeli military.
That sounds like BDS, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So this is a first, once we get a community consensus behind this, you're looking that in the future we would take action.
Yes.
Based on that consensus.
Yes, that's the idea.
This is a message to the mayor and to council. Why did you break the mayor off from council? The mayor is a member of council.
I think that's just the language that was like approved by the city clerk to sort of word it as a warning and stuff like that.
Now, I don't know how, our next mayor will be Mark Wynn. He's the only person running for mayor.
Yes.
And I don't know how Mark feels about this, but were Mark to, as a matter of personal conscience, not support this, would you support Mark's decision not to get behind this? If it were to pass as a matter of personal conscience?
Well, I don't know why he
No,
wouldn't
that's a
want to support
hypothetical.
it.
I have no idea what Mark feels on this.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that if it passed, that he would, follow the advisement of the residents of Montpelier and act on it.
It asks for a commitment to freedom, justice, and equality for the Palestine people and for all others.
Yes.
Aren't the Palestine people members of all others? Why are the Palestinians different than all others?
Well, so I think I like the point you're bringing up. I think we...
Who are suffering from injustice,
Yes,
lack
yes.
of freedom, and lack of equality.
For too long, the Palestinians have been, you could say, an exception when it comes to human rights, right? We, there's a international consensus that people have human rights, that they shouldn't be forced to leave the places where they live, that they shouldn't be killed just for who they are. And we've seen time and again that that consensus gets ignored when it comes to Palestinians. And so we think it's important to, we're a Palestinian solidarity group, so we think Palestinians deserve our support and our focused attention, just like any other group that is suffering from our oppression, deserves our focused attention.
Would the people of Tibet get your focused attention?
Of course, yeah. But we, our group is focused specifically on Palestinians.
Now, this is asking us to formally oppose all forms of racism, bigotry, discrimination, and oppression.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a commonly agreed definition of racism? I think that that's been something that for years has defied a common definition.
Mm-hmm.
How do you define racism?
How do I define racism? I don't know if I have an official definition off the top of my head, but I understand it as a system that privileges one group over another on the basis of race. And of course, race is more of a socially constructed phenomenon than something that's based on anything inherent in us or real. So in this case, in the case of Palestine, Palestinians are subjected to laws in Israel that define them as a racial group.
Bigotry. Is there, again, these are things that sound almost like a total abstraction.
Mm-hmm.
What are we opposing in how do we define bigotry in such a way that we as a community can feel like we're against all aspects of bigotry? How does bigotry go towards all people? It's, putting the Palestinians, this added the word "and all people."
Yes.
How do you parse out bigotry as something more than an abstraction?
Well, I think we want, I would say bigotry is an unfounded hatred towards other people, or a sense that
This almost sounds religious, doesn't
inherently
it?
better than other people. But I think, the purpose of this is that we want to have a consensus that we're against against injustice against people. We're for we're for equal rights for people, and that Palestinians are included in that, right? That we are for Palestinians.
Then why did we include all others? Why is this not just a referendum on Palestinians?
Oh, well, we include all others because we want to be clear that human rights are important for everyone, and that everyone needs human rights.
It almost seems as if were you to strip out the Palestinians, you'd get like 90 to 95% of the vote in this town. I seriously doubt whether there's people who are going to come out and say, geez, I'm for oppression, I'm for discrimination, I'm for bigotry.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly the purpose of it is to make sure that Palestinians are included in that consensus. That we know that people in Montpelier want equal rights for everyone. That people in Montpelier oppose oppression and racism, and we want to make sure that Palestinians are included in that consensus.
Is this the proper venue for that? It seems to me as if you're starting from premises that we're all agreeing on, and you're narrowing it down. Should you have started with the premises? You know, I mean, to get everybody to sign your petitions, and it wouldn't be cold when you're getting it around, and then build off of that. Might that have been a different approach to this?
Sorry, can you ask that one more time?
Sure. I think that you would get universal agreement that we're all, the vast majority of us, except for a few old curmudgeons and a few jerks, are not racist in this town, are certainly against bigotry, discrimination, and oppression. And wouldn't that have been a statement of purpose that that not only council, but the rest of us could solidly get behind and then start to build off that as your framework? So you start with premises that we all share and then build from that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the idea. I mean, we're starting from premises that we all share, which is these premises of equality and opposition to oppression. But that consensus doesn't mean anything if you say, well, we all agree on this, but not for these people, right? And
is that a local issue, though?
And well, yes, because our state sent $27 million to the Israeli military in federal tax money last year, right? So our government is funding, a war that is trying to annihilate a whole group of people, and
but again,
to me,
that's inferred in this.
Yeah.
It's not out front. It seems hidden in the background to some degree. I have a question. One section of this, you want a Montpelier that's free of apartheid. What in Montpelier involves apartheid? Except for perhaps economic apartheid, where people can't afford rent in this community, so they're not living in this community.
Right.
What form of apartheid exists in Montpelier that we should be free of?
So, again, the idea of this is to make sure that we're not supporting apartheid anywhere, but specifically looking at the situation with Palestinians.
Oh, okay, so it's not a reference to local apartheid.
No, it's a reference to our support of apartheid against Palestinians.
There's a word in here that I thought was interesting.
Yes.
And it's Israel's apartheid regime.
Yes.
I want to parse regime. It is an elected government.
Yes.
And my question is, there's an old routine in the Marx Brothers film where Chico says to Groucho that if you look at it, it's a stable. If you smell it, it's a barn. And Groucho says, well, let's look at it. Is a government that you disagree with a regime, and elected governments you disagree with are regimes, and elected governments you agree with are elected governments? What constitutes, in a democratic election, a regime?
Well, I think the situation that we have to remember with Israel is that while its citizens vote in its elections, Israel controls many aspects of the lives of Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza.
Well, it's under occupation.
Yeah, it's under occupation. And those people have no say in the policies that are shaping their lives. And that's really what we mean when we're talking about apartheid in Palestine, is that there are people who are living under the control of a government that they have no say and no recourse into how it treats them and what rights they have.
There are military occupations all over the world. You know, that's not unique to Israel. Why Israel? Why, you know, couldn't you point that out as a general goal? And then further, and this again touches on the question of, is this, can you understand why some would term this anti-Semitic?
So I guess I can answer, maybe I'll answer each of those questions. So this pledge is focusing on Israel because what we're trying to do is to make sure that Palestinians have their rights and their freedom respected, right? And so Israel is going to be a factor in that conversation because that government has a massive amount of say over their lives. In terms of anti-Semitism, right?
Can you see how
that
people could perceive this as anti-Semitic?
Because, yeah, I mean, I think I get people's concerns about anti-Semitism. I think anti-Semitism is definitely a big problem right now. I myself am Jewish, and so I'm very concerned about anti-Semitism right now, especially in
What
our
is
country here.
anti-Semitism to you being Jewish?
What is anti-Semitism to me being Jewish? So to me, it's the anti-Semitism is hatred or violence against Jews as Jews or Jewish institutions as Jewish institutions, as opposed to anything else, right? So anti-Semitism would be singling me out for violence, oppression, anything like that, because I'm Jewish.
Do you support the existence of a nation of Israel as stated in the Balfour Declaration of 1918 as a Jewish state?
As a Jewish state? I personally...
well, now we're separating.
Yes.
The organization that you're representing, is there a wide divergence of opinion with that, or are you representing the opinions of others behind this petition?
I mean, I can't speak for the opinions of everyone in our organization. You know, for me, myself, I don't have a, you know, I'm not like a political or government scholar. So I don't have a, you know, perfect idea of what needs to happen in Israel and Palestine, but I personally don't believe that countries should be representing a single ethnic group. I think countries should represent all of their citizens equally.
So Israel as a theocracy is a problem to you?
I wouldn't call Israel a theocracy.
Isn't Judaism the official state religion? That's a theocracy.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that Israel and its laws are fairly secular, but I do oppose Israel's laws that create that have different privileges for different ethnic groups.
Would you support the 1948 boundaries of Israel with the West Bank belonging to Jordan and Gaza belonging to Egypt?
Again, I'm not a scholar of these things, so I don't have a strong opinion about the specifics of the borders. But what I'm really worried about is, and as a Jew in particular, I'm worried about this because, my family has lived through oppression and genocide, and what I'm concerned about is that no one should be kicked out of their home. No one should be killed or oppressed or tortured or thrown in prison just because of who they are, right? And, I think we need to respect the human rights of everyone, the national rights of everyone, to be able to have a say in their government, and we have to support those rights for both Jews and Palestinians. That's what I believe.
Do you feel that the phrase "from the ocean to the sea," when it's being chanted, could be perceived as anti-Semitic?
I don't think that phrase is anti-Semitic. I think,
Between the ocean
certainly,
and the sea is the nation of Israel.
I mean, I think, I don't think calling for I don't think that calling for equal rights for everyone, for example, between the river and the sea, or for Palestinian freedom between the river and the sea, is anti-Semitic.
That nuance is often lost on Jewish people. Can you see why?
I can understand why Jews are worried about criticism
Even Jews
of
that don't
Israel.
support the government.
Yes. I can understand why Jews are worried about criticism of Israel and how that could potentially lead to a rise in anti-Semitism. I understand that concern. I don't think that means we can ignore abuses of human rights when they're taking place, though, right? I think we have to make sure we're looking at what's actually happening and what human rights organizations are telling us are happening, and make sure we're doing what we can to address that situation, because people's homes are getting destroyed and so many people are getting killed, and we need to make sure that we're doing what we can to stop our government from funding that.
The people who are against this vote, who are for a no vote, do you believe that those people favor the policies that are detrimental to Palestinians? The people who will vote no.
Who will vote no?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I can't speak to, I'm sure there are many reasons why people would support or not support this measure. I think, I've certainly heard people who say that, well, I don't like what the government is doing right now, but I don't support the language of this. I can, I think, I would say that, everyone's got to vote for this based on what they feel comfortable with. But I would encourage people to see how this is about making sure that we have, that we're respecting everybody's human rights.
A proposal was never put up before council, but drafted as charter change that would give city council the right to keep petitions like this off the ballot, even though you have the signatures. Mm-hmm. What's the feeling in your organization about that proposal that never made it before council?
I mean, I think we obviously opposed it because it would have, potentially it would have taken a lot of steam out of resolutions like ours, And I think, one thing that we, one thing that we're seeing right now in this country is that democracy is under attack from all sides, as I'm sure you know. The federal government is doing a lot of illegal things right now, and our democratic rights are being restricted in a lot of ways. And so I think it's important that we fight to keep those rights. And I think that, one thing about Article 12 is this is exactly how I believe that democracy should work, right? That we should be talking about difficult issues that are challenging us, but that we should be talking about them in our communities with our neighbors, face to face, and really having those conversations together as a community, like at the information session we're having next Saturday at 3.
Where?
At the library in the Hayes room. So
And that will be right before town meeting day.
Yes, the Saturday before town meeting day.
So one more time, the Hayes room at the Kellogg Hubbard Library at?
We're having a information session at the Kellogg Hubbard Library at 3 p.m. In the Hayes room.
Will questions be encouraged?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much, Aron, for speaking with us. And I would encourage you to get out and vote on town meeting day. I always do that. And basically, the vote, as Aron said, when democracy really is under attack, our getting out and voting is even more important. Get out, vote, have your neighbors vote, have your family vote, and thank you for watching.